Yo, PZ peeps, welcome to the first edition of the Project Zomboid X-Files, where we discuss the many mysteries and unexplained phenomenon of Project Zomboid. Today, first up is the Insanity Files. Now, if you don't know what the Insanity Files are, well, they are found within this Project Zomboid sound folder, of which I can give you the directory where they are located. And they've existed there for at least 5 years. So let's take the deep dive and find out what these files are.
Sarah. Watch your back. Sarah, how you feeling? Watch out, me. Sarah. Hey. Sarah. Sarah. Turn around. Now. Sarah. Sarah. Now is the end. Let her go in peace. Now is the end. Go in peace. Now is the end. Let her go in peace. Now is the end. Go in peace. Now is peace. Now is the end. Let her go in peace. Sarah. Now is the end. Now is the end. Let her go in peace. Now is the end. Let her go in peace. Now is the end. 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 Let her go in peace. Now is the end. Now is the end. Sarah. 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 You don't look so good, Sarah. What's the matter, Sarah? Sarah. Sarah.
And so joining us today is Authentic Pancakes, or Pancakes. Welcome to the Project Zomboid X-Files, Pancakes.
Thanks for having me here, Authentic Peach.
All right. So first up, what was your your initial reaction to the sound files?
My initial reaction was, if I was in a dark house, and this was just playing in my head, supposedly, as the character, I would probably hit that uninstall button pretty quickly in my earlier years.
What, like out of like fear or something? Like
Well,
crap
yeah,
in your pants?
just imagine you're looking through the garages in like the older build. Let's say you're like younger you right now.
Okay.
And all of a sudden you just start hearing Sarah or something like that.
Yeah. And what about that Sarah one? You first listened to it like backwards, right? The original how it is, right?
Yeah, it's you can't really describe what they're saying because it's literally a reversed file.
Yeah.
But it does pull off a more menacing feel when
Mm-hmm.
you can't understand it, which
Yeah.
I'm sure that they reversed it just because that when you reverse anything, it could sound creepy.
Yeah. And so I noticed right away when playing it, I was like, wait, this track is backwards because you can kind of like tell on how the end of the words is clipped. And so I was like, okay, I'll just reverse it and see what. And because I remember I showed it to you, I was like crapping my pants when it happened. I was like look at this, it's
I
crazy.
was at work while you were showing me this, doing an overnight patrol, so
Yeah, and at night, right?
yeah, I had like literal goosebumps. And I was in the middle school section. I was just like looking around, checking the corners real quick, just making sure.
Yeah. So yeah, totally creepy. All right, so that's our initial reactions. So now we cut to the facts. So uh, what has been said, and from moderators, from the developers, just the straight facts. So there were two. So first off, there are two big discussions that were had. One was on Reddit in 2015, late 2015, and
Hmm.
another in the Steam forums in 2017. Now, a moderator said in the Reddit thread that in response to anyone knows what triggers them, that they said, quote unquote, that it'll be telling. Like, oh, we can't tell you. But no, they are not currently used. The general idea is to have boredom/slash depression matter quite a bit more in the future. And then later in that thread, he also said, this used to happen in earlier version of the game. You would see phantom zombies when severely out of sorts. Not this is quote unquote, okay. It's not perfect English. Not sure if it was based on in parentheses a lack of and parentheses interaction with NPCs though. It was in there. It was in when they were. So now that's just a moderator saying like, oh yeah, that's a moderator confirming he was in the game at a particular time, probably very early, and then I guess when they entered a new stage in the development, just didn't make it through. Anyway, what have you found, Pumpcakes?
All right, 1 second as I do a quick screen share.
Okay.
Okay. So this is an official post, month and date on the actual website that you would usually um, use to check out the updates for the Thursdoids.
Mm-hmm.
Once upon a time, this was a Mundoid, by the way. And
Mondoids.
this is the actual text. A snatched half
Hmm.
hour of entertainment. And as the game develops, when NPCs are at the end of their rope, they may become withdrawn, fight, cry, or even stick a gun in their mouth and pull the trigger, which makes a lot of noise. Paranoia can fool the senses, and outright insanity isn't easy to come back from. Cigarettes, alcohol, and drugs can keep the darkness at bay, but rely on them too much and you may become addicted. And then at the end on the bottom it says defend, which I don't know why. Um, Here's another thing. This is the actual word for word of the reverse sound clip that you mentioned, Peach.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think I'm gonna read. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
keep it on there on display. All the YouTube peeps, they can just pause it when they at their leisure.
Yeah. And I have that screenshot
Anyways,
as well. So yeah. Yeah. That sound file has been there for many years, and yeah, that was the intended use of it. But now that feature was shelved. So yeah, shelved.
but I have talked to a developer, in DMs, although I'm not gonna say any specific names out of respect, just in case they care enough. But they did actually tell me directly that they do plan on eventually adding it. It's probably not going to be for a long time, but I assume
Hmm.
that once they get the server stuff, the NPC stuff, Louisville, probably many other unforeseen issues or additions,
Mm-hmm.
then we might probably see insanity.
Yeah, it's pretty surprising, you know. Like that's not on anyone's radar, you know. That's probably why they want to keep it under wraps. We're going on to the new, onto the next part, which is the theories, where we come up with our own conspiracy theories, and just basically the theories on what we think. It's basically what we think on what is based on what's been said and just our experience. So, who is Sarah? Is it is it the lady that's singing Arabic at and old level up chime? What do you think?
Well, I have a very boring one, but it could just be some random person that they probably recruited just to do this specific sound file.
Yeah,
That could be it,
yeah.
but it would be cool if it was the person who does the Arabic themed kind of vocals.
Hmm. So
Um, or Sarah could be maybe someone that the developer knows, and then the person that they it might not be Sarah themselves that's saying it, but maybe someone that a developer has knowledge of or is an acquaintance of.
hmm.
Could be a Easter egg in that sense.
Yeah,
Never know.
yeah. Yeah, so we have 9 different files. You have the 4 random screams that are like 1 second long. Then you have the weird whisper one that is insane 3. Okay, one was the zombies growling like all loud and everything. 2 was the ambient whispers with like kind of a weird reverb in the background, you know. And then Insanity 4 was the Sarah backwards one. And then Insanity Ambient, it's a bunch of whispers in gibberish, basically. So, what do you think? What order do you see these going in? Like from least intensity to most intensity, like least meaning like all you're kind of starting to go crazy to sitting down in the corner of the room staring in the corner, yeah, crazy. So what do you think?
Well, I would say that you know how in Zomboid usually level 1 moodles are almost superficial.
Mm-hmm.
They have like barely an effect. I would say the ambience related ones that are the most calmest out of the many files that you got going.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would say that would be like level 1.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, level 2, I would say would be maybe like whispers. Then you would see something like maybe distant zombies, but not like in your face kind of deal. They would always just be appearing, and then when you look away and look again, they disappear.
I think
That's like my
that's where you can put the screams. There is when the game detects you've seen it and disappears, it would end with a
Mhm.
scream. Uh,
Yeah, that would be perfect actually. Yeah.
yeah.
Now for level 3, I would say that's when you start to have like the more not frequent, but they're infrequent screaming effects. And
Okay.
then it would be like a jump scare. Like you open the door that doesn't have like a window that you're able to see through. And then when you open it, a zombie's just there. But it's like maybe like a specially designed zombie that could
Mm-hmm.
look more horror looking. And then they do the scream, ah, or something. And then when we get to the max level, then we start going into like the Sarah, and then like it's just constant like in your head in your face kind of like intensity.
So
I think that
yeah, you would put Sarah at the most the most insanity level, right?
I mean, if you heard literal conversations in your head, I would probably assume you'd be at max level too, right?
Yeah, yeah. And then the insane one, which is like the zombies growling and everything, you'll put that at like level 3, right?
I would say level 3 because full conversations in your head seems more disturbing, in my opinion. Because,
Yeah.
you could, if you think about it, like, hearing zombie noises isn't nearly as insane to, like, think up in your head. You could probably do that in real life. Like, let's say we're in a real life situation of Zomboid for somehow. You would probably, once in a while, your mind would play tricks on you with zombies. Like, you'd hear something and mistake it. Like, like how you could do that in real life?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you'll hear something in your house, but it didn't really happen,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
you just don't know what the cause of.
it happens when you're really sleep deprived, um, and
Yeah,
you just start hallucinating, hearing sounds that never occurred. It's some pretty freaky stuff. Yeah.
yeah. So I would argue that could be, um, if they were to add different levels of intensity, that could be maybe level 2 and 3, if with different variations.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a thing.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. So, why do you think it was indefinitely shelved? Well, with the knowledge now, it's not indefinitely, but for the time being, why do you think it was shelved at the time?
Well, from my understanding from the research that I've done, um, it was buggy to an extent with the illusion zombies during the alpha build, where they could actually hurt you like any other zombie.
Hmm.
So you could technically kill yourself if you thought about it.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
Back then,
those.
suicide was an option,
Yeah. Right.
but
Yeah. Yeah. Death by mind zombie. Yeah.
so I think they probably shelved it because there was a balance issue, but then they never got around to it because the ambitions of NPCs and all those other projects that they've been doing. Plus, it was like, I think what at that time it was a few people at most on the game,
Yeah.
like a
It wasn't
handful.
that many people. Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously it came too soon, I guess you would say.
Why do you think it was added in the first place?
Why did I think it was that in the first place? Well, I think they did have NPCs at the time, so if I had to like make a theory in my head, they probably may have, like, imagine you're walking down and you would normally see an NPC, right? But you're insane. So maybe you see him as a zombie, and then after you're done killing them, it reveals that they were just a person
Yeah.
or something like that. Or maybe it'd be like one of those mechanics where it is an actual zombie, but occasionally the game will just be like, "Aha, you killed a person," and then you get depressed or something. I don't know.
I know you haven't watched much of The Walking Dead, but going into kind of season 6 area, there's a character Morgan from season 1, and he goes insane, and you get to see all the whole stages of his insanity, and
I've actually seen that. Yeah,
yeah.
Morgan. He's like, clear.
Yeah, I
No,
have to
I've seen
clear.
that.
Yeah. And the most recent one, character Sadiq, he starts seeing people that aren't there, and it's because he went through
Yeah.
traumatic experience, and I really like how The Walking Dead portrays people going insane and insanity, and so
Hmm.
I would understand why the developers wanted to put kind of that kind of aspect in the game, because I mean, in the zombie apocalypse, long term, that's just what people face when they're isolated, and all they have to do is just kill the dead. Yeah, but anyway, my reason why I think it was added in the first place was Well, the new kid on the block at the time was like when this was a thing, like 2011, 2012. The new kid on the block was Don't Starve, and Don't Starve
Yeah.
came out in the beta in 2012, and officially in 2013 out of beta, which basically that game mastered the insanity aspect approach with you battling the insanity monsters that your mind creates. So
Not to mention the characters had different like prerequisites at times, or at least some were easier, some were harder.
yeah, there's
In
like an
gameplay
insanity
aspect.
meter and everything. It'll be smaller for some types of players and larger for others. So, my last question was: do you think we'll ever see this in the game ever implemented? And I mean that we already got confirmation that we might. So, but realistically, anytime soon. What do you think?
Define like anytime soon.
In terms of years.
Because with Indie Stone, that could mean a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
I would say there could be hope for it after Louisville.
Yeah. Do you think we'll see?
But
All
even
right.
then, that's a big.
Do you think we'll see this before NPCs?
No, I think NPCs will be first.
Okay, so beyond NPCs. All right.
Anything
Okay.
beyond that.
So, anything else you have? Anything else you have to add?
Before you do,
Yeah.
end it though, I think we should ask the viewers. Why don't they just make a comment on what their theory is, so we could like read it.
Yeah.
And interact with them a bit.
Yeah. And if you have any other topics for us to cover, please put it down below so we can research it and bring it to light. Basically, anything that you would ask the question, oh, whatever happened to X? And so, yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, thank you, Punkcakes, for joining me for this great discussion of the Insanity Files. And this here ends the first edition of the Project Zomboid X Files. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next part.
All right, see ya.